do another live recording for you guys. I really have been interested in getting back in kind of flow and kind of trying to figure out like the best way forward in these very challenging times. And I was reading from my date book. I have this really interesting date book. It's called The Witch's Date Book that has a lot of astrological transits, and that kind of helps me keep on track. And I did another reading over on Instagram yesterday regarding Imbolc, the celebration of Imbolc. And I came across this page. The thing that inspired me was that I came across this page in this book that talked about kind of like how to kind of think about this time maybe a little bit differently and do things a little bit differently than maybe you've done in the past, or just kind of how to prepare for this next upcoming season. So just to give you guys a little bit of background, the Imbolc celebration happens between the winter solstice and the spring equinox, so generally February 1st. Traditionally, it's a Gaelic celebration, Irish, Scottish celebration of the goddess Bridget, or not goddess, Saint Bridget. And I feel like it actually comes at a perfect time because it's where, you know, it's not yet spring and it's still cold and it's still winter. And it comes at this time where people may not really know how to navigate forward, or really how to think about the future in a positive way, or how to be inspired at this time. So I really wanted to talk about it in a live recording. I was gonna do like a pick a card reading for this, but decided, you know, not to. So there's that. Strange is giving me options now. Interesting. You know, YouTube's made a little bit of changes here to this live, you know, setting. So I'm just going to go with it though. So before I jump in, I do want to say that I am still accepting donations. If anybody wants to send a donation, it's super appreciated this time. No one has yet sent a donation since I've started recording again. And I put a lot of effort into trying to create content for my channel this go round where it's meant to really inspire people and kind of keep people on track and kind of get people to think about things in a different and kind of unique way. So all donations are super blessed at this time, even if it's just $10. You know, you can send a donation through PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App. Really keeps me going. I've got a lot of stuff going on with my car right now. I got a lot of stuff going on with bills, and again, I have a little bit of time before my electric bill starts to pop up again. So for those of you who are able to donate, I really appreciate it. And if you can't, I totally understand, but all donations are very much appreciated, and it does keep me going. So there's that. I am still offering private readings. If you'd like to get a private reading, you can book it through my website, oracledaphne.com. All readings also support me at this time. I don't have another full-time job, so I pick up work however I can, gigs however I can. You know, all clients are appreciated. So if you've been thinking about booking a reading with me, I definitely encourage you to reach out and book a reading. It's super easy. You just send a payment, send an email and say, hey, Elizabeth, I've got Saturday available. Can you do Saturday? I'll be like, sure, let's do Saturday. And that'll be it. So I want to jump in. Again, I'm reading from this date book that I got, and it says that before any planting can begin, the field must be made ready. And I took that like quote here to think about this time we are between winter and spring, about how to kind of prepare and make ready our lives for the next growing season. And in some way, I feel like these traditional celebrations bring back a kind of the seasons, a sense of flow with the seasons. And it's been one of my goals, and I mentioned this in my Instagram recording, to get back into feeling like I'm very much in flow with the seasons. And I think the winter can cause a lot of, for many people, a lot of, I don't know, low moods or low vibes. And this really inspired me to it's kind of like it's time to dust off the cobwebs. It's time to ring the bells. The image in this book is a ringing of a bell. So if you've got any bells, if you have a stereo, play some music, ring some bells. Even if you have like any kind of like little, like you can even use utensils, to kind of clear your space with music and to raise the vibration. And I think that's going to help everyone at this time, because I feel like collectively there's a low mood during the winter time, at least here in the northern hemisphere. So this is, to me, it's about kind of getting ready for the season and clearing house. It also talks about it says getting ready for the spring cleaning to come and performing house blessings. So for some of you, this is blessing your space. You can say words out loud. You can say little prayers out loud to bless your space, to bless the things that you have. It's super important for everyone to do that at this time. It means sorting through belongings and setting aside anything that could be donated or thrown away. So cleaning, clearing, spring cleaning, this is a time to do that. It says, cleanse your space with sound, ringing bells, clapping hands, playing music to let the energies that have lain dormant the last couple of months know it is time to start waking up. Open up the blinds and curtains in the morning and light candles to welcome back the sun and bring its cleansing brightness into your home. So the sun can have a strong impact, especially people who suffer from SAD, or seasonal depression. And I've noticed that there's a lot more sunny days here where I live. We went for basically 2 solid months of snow and rain and muck, and it was just very challenging for me. And I think, for a lot of people who live in a place where there's been a lot of snow this season or a lot of rain this season, this winter, I feel like it can create kind of a low mood or a feeling of stuckness. So this whole thing about embracing the sun again, lighting candles in the morning, calling back in the light is super important for people to do at this time. And the music too. The music also. It says, bless your seed packets, pots, and gardening tools and so on, as well as your car, your computer, yourself, your family, and your pets. Bless your oven, anointing it with rosemary-infused olive oil, and perform a house blessing by sprinkling moon water and salt throughout your home. Now, for those of you, I never create any moon water. To me, that's next level. But I do occasionally sprinkle sea salt. I have pink Himalayan sea salt that I use for cooking around my apartment. And sometimes I'll sprinkle baking soda around my apartment. And sometimes I'll sprinkle specialty salt that I actually grind myself. That's some herb and salt, and then I'll vacuum. It feels really good to do any kind of salt clearing in your home or apartment. You will notice the difference. And I challenge anybody to try it and let me know, in the comments once they do try it, see how they feel. It really clears any kind of negative energies. And again, the thing about say depression or a low mood is that negative energies and entities can kind of it's like they're being welcomed in when you're low. When you have a low vibration, it can attract negative energies. And the interesting thing for me, just before I got sick, the day before, I saw this dark kind of cloud and in my space, and I was just there was nothing that I could do to, because I got sick, obviously, to prevent that from happening. But if those of you who have been sick or have been low, and maybe you haven't been doing a lot of stuff, maybe you watched maybe too much TV, spent too much time in front of a flat screen, or too much time on your phone, this would be a really great time to clear your space, because it gets rid of all of those dark clouds, all of that gunk, and you can open up your windows and your doors, just for a little bit. I know it's like still super cold where I am, but like just for a little bit, and clear out some of the negativity. So I wanted to talk about that. I also am going to pull some cards and see what comes up here. I wanted to do kind of like a little bit of a reading and see what comes up for those of you who want to kind of go into this sort of transitional time, and talk about the fact that it's transitional, and like what you can do at this time to kind of prepare yourself for this next season. Those of you who do garden, this would be a great time to like look through seed catalogs and plan out what you want to do for your garden this next season. It also I wanted to talk about, before I move on to the reading, I want to talk about the blessing thing. So I don't remember where I heard this from, but this kind of changed my whole perspective on what does it mean to bless something. And so when you bless something, so say I bless a plant, okay, so there's a plant on my table. This is just an example, but say I say out loud, I bless this plant. It sends positive energy directly to that plant. If you say, I bless everybody who's watching this, and I bless all of my clients, then the universe has to, by spiritual law, send positive energy to the people that I'm talking about via the law of attraction. So, when you bless your house or bless anything in your possession, you are actually giving it positive energy. There is also that whole thing about saying, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, to something. It actually does change the energy and send love to whoever you're saying that to, and raise the vibration of the person that you're saying that to. So if I say to you, I love you, I love you, I love you, to this plant, then the plant is going to feel that, whether you can see it or not. I feel like at this time, because it's a transitional time, anything during a transition can feel frustrating, that things are not moving fast, that things are moving quite slowly, that you might feel a little bit stuck. And so anything that's going to raise the vibration or shift the energy is very important to do, specifically at this time, because when things are stagnant or stuck or low, I think it's important to be mindful of how we can shift the energy and be empowered to shift the energy. And it's not like tricks. It's just spiritual law. And like with salt has a chemistry. And like I had to explain this to an ex-boyfriend of mine. This is funny. I had to explain. He didn't understand how or why he should take a salt shower or a salt bath or rub salt on his body. He didn't understand why or how that salt was going to change his energy. And I explained it to him in the sense that salt has chemical compounds that change the negative ions. So it's like going to the beach. You feel naturally better when you go to the beach. So it's something to think about, and do, and use salt at this time to clear your space, clear your energy. If you want to take a salt shower or salt bath, You can use Epsom salts. You can use a combination of sea salt and baking soda. People always complain about, well, that's going to make your skin very dry. But if you're using lotion and you're, taking care of your body, you can use coconut oil to replenish your skin. Whatever it is that you use to replenish your skin, you'll be fine. It's more of just a sense of clarity that you're going to get because negative gunk has gone away. And that's what we're going for this spring. This is like the goal, my goal for everyone this spring. So, there's that. I am going to pull some cards and see what else that people can do to kind of do some spring clearing house. Actually, this is something that I'm getting. Some of you may clean out your closet. And I would encourage everybody to clean out their closet. Dust, vacuum, take everything out, go through everything, and then put everything back. You might actually find some things unexpectedly. This came up in another reading. And it's funny because after I did that reading, I was looking for my some things in my sewing kit, and I couldn't find some thread. I was trying to fix my purse. The inside has ripped so badly, so that I was like, okay, I really have to sew this back together. And so I spent like half a day sewing the whole thing up, but I had lost forgot where I had put my thread and my needle. Like I had this white thread that I had used for something else, and I found it. I actually found it, and I couldn't believe that I found it. So I just thought that was really cool. Sorry guys, I had a call coming in. So you might actually find something that maybe you thought was lost, or you might just find some stuff if you go back through your things that maybe you had forgotten about. And that's the cool thing when you clean and clear house, and I do want to say this is very interesting. This is coming up now. I went to this Habitat for Humanity store in town that I love. It's got a lot of cool antiques, and there's always like really cool old furniture and things there. And I went there recently, and he said nobody's donating. I was like, where's the stuff? Like it was like really there wasn't a lot of stuff in general. I was like, where's the stuff? And he's just like, nobody's donating. And this goes back to what I said about clothing shortages. I've said this in a couple other videos, but I also want to say that it's important at this time because I think that there's going to be less of like kind of like mindless donation. To be thinking more like critically about the stuff that they have, hanging on to more stuff. So it's important. We have going back to what I said about the North Node in Taurus. We still have the North Node in Taurus until July. So it's very important to go through things that you've got and donate them if you can, because there's a shortage. I feel like there's a shortage, at least where I live. No, maybe other people, other places, people are still donating things. I think it's super important to do that. It provides things for other people that wouldn't be able to afford it otherwise, especially for kids and things like that. So if you have any kids stuff specifically, this would be a good time to donate things like that. Okay, so I'm gonna pull some cards. There's a thing about food cravings. There's also a thing about someone who's Well, there's a lot of things here that's coming through. Basically, someone, there's too many things coming through. Sorry. This card is like really complicated. Um, some of you may be actually not well when you're watching this. Some of you may actually have like a sore throat, or you may not be feeling good. There is this one throat spray that I've talked about many times. It's the Echinacea Golden Seal Propolis throat spray by Gaia Herbs. For those of you who want me to post the link to it, hi Alex, thanks for saying hi. Those of you who want me to post a link to it, I can. You can buy it at most grocery stores. It's not always available, but propolis is from the bees, and golden seal is really cool plant. And echinacea, everybody knows, is immune boosting. So some of you may have like a thing with your throat at this time. So some of you may need to use more throat spray, maybe some lemon and honey. You might just have some congestion. I'm seeing that. The interesting thing about this card is like that whole thing goes back to the thing about that I said about music. So, music is super important. So clearing out your throat actually by singing or doing like some warm-ups or gargling with salt water in the shower. Things like that would be good for your throat. Anything that you can do to strengthen your throat chakra, whether it's Tibetan singing bowls or listening to like, there's like throat chakra, music or vibrations, stuff like that would be very helpful. Some of you are like you're a chef or you're a cook or you like to bake. I feel like I'm also reading for someone who is very creative in the arts, whether it's painting or drawing, or, photography. It doesn't matter what it is. Artists can run the full gamut. There may be someone who does jewelry design or pottery or things like that. It doesn't have to be just one thing. Some of you need to focus on either like becoming kind of more of a vegetarian or vegan, or having like going on like a gluten-free diet. Some of you do need to do more exercise at this time. Eating more yogurt, less fried foods, chips, or like things that you would be considered like fast foods. If you have a low mood, I feel like it's because of weight. It's because of your diet. So some of you do need to work on losing more weight. I will tell you three things that I did to lose weight when I lived in Omaha, because I was very serious when I lived in Omaha about losing weight. Like I was working out really, really a lot. And you can see it in my videos where my face changed. Like I felt like I started to have more of like a square face. You could see my face. And I had gone through from like starting in 2012, I had an major injury, and I didn't really exercise for like 2.5 years. So like when I started my channel, you can see it in my face. Like I wasn't really exercising it, and I would do things here and there, and I had a very high stress job at the time, and I just was going through a period of stress. So some of you need to reduce your stress in order to lose weight. But the three things that I did to lose weight was I stopped eating bananas, I stopped eating cheese, I started working out, running and doing like incline pretty much at least 5 days a week. I think I was doing it more like 7 days a week. But I was working out a lot, but it wasn't for long periods of time. If I worked out, I'd run a couple of miles. It wasn't like I was running 10 miles every single time I went. And it wasn't that, like I was running flat, I was running at incline, and sprinting at incline. And that really, really helped. And I did like a variety of things. I'd lift a little weights. I do like run a couple of miles. I do a little stationary bicycle. And all together, it kind of really changed my body. Like my body actually started to change, and I started to see the change in my weight. And then the other thing that I did was I saw this YouTuber juicing celery. And the way she juiced celery was she blended it. So those of you who don't want to go through the process of juicing celery every day, I literally would just chop up 4 or 5 stalks of organic celery, add distilled water, and blend it and strain it and drink it. And that really helped me lose weight. Now, some of you aren't going to do any of these things, and that's totally fine. But if at this time you're kind of in a, maybe, like I said, maybe you have the winter blues, or maybe you're having a difficult time getting on track, or feeling like you're not in flow, I would really recommend cutting out some things in your diet that are contributing to maybe not feeling your best. That's what I want to say. Some of you do need to, maybe you're looking for, to get back out there. Like maybe some of you are looking for a new relationship. Some of you do need to have sex really badly. Like you haven't done it in a while. Things like that are going to help you. Shift your perspective, change your mood. Relationships can be really, really positive, for our, I don't know, mental health. I think it's the hippopotamus. I get it confused. I think it's the hippopotamus, but it could be also the rhinoceros that gets depressed if it's left alone for too long, and dies. I think so. I've tried to figure this out, and I think it's the rhinoceros. But hippopotamus is also very social, and they have very strong bonds. So, you know, it's one of those funny things that's coming through. To answer your question, no, I don't do FB at all. I don't do TT at all, and I won't. I refuse. So no. I don't care if I'm the last person in the world. I could be the last person. Like there's nobody else except for me that's not on there. I won't do it. I'm difficult that way. I'm trying to see what else is coming through for you guys. Some of you do need to use sage to smudge your space. If you don't have sage, I would recommend, you can buy all different kinds of sage and things to smudge, online. You can buy them on Etsy. There's all different ones. I would ship it to you, but it's too expensive for me to ship one at a time. So you can buy them from me, but it's a bulk. You'll have to buy the bulk. But yeah, smudging your space. And some of you do need to seek counseling. Maybe it's talking to someone, for spiritual clarity. Maybe booking a reading with me, something like that might be helpful also. I do also feel like some of you need to be what I call defogged and defunct. Defogged and defunct is like your aura and your light body is holding a lot of negativity, and for some of you, and it's not again, you may not even be conscious of it. This is where you're gonna maybe work with someone who does Reiki, or just somebody who does spiritual clearing, to kind of defog and defunk you. And when I say defog and defunk, what does that mean? It means that your aura and your light body just needs to be kind of vacuumed off, almost kind of like spring cleaning, only for your energy. For some of you, at this time, you need to avoid any kind of dramatic situations, third-party situations, cheating situations, um, any kind of battles within a relationship. Some of you may become very upset um, that you're struggling so much with a partner. There may be someone like a partner that's causing you, I don't know, to feel very low or very down or very depressed, very sad. Some of you, like the drama, like the shit is so deep, and I'm not even really gonna go there. So some of the things that I would recommend for you to do would be to work on loving yourself more. Um, and if you feel lonely or you feel down or you feel depressed because you're not involved with anybody, or you're not involved with any drama, and there might be just kind of like a lot of alone time, then I would encourage everybody to do things that are more social. Become part of a community. I don't care what kind of community it is. It doesn't really matter. Wherever you feel like you kind of resonate. Like here in the town that I live in, there is this little church. It's like, I don't know if it's a Methodist church, which I resonate with actually, and there's like another one that's more of like a Unitarian church, that I resonate with. I don't resonate with a lot of religion, but at the same time, I like the community and I like the vibe. So, wherever you feel like you resonate with most. Some of you may want to do like a Bible study group, or like a support group, or like something where you're starting your own like reading club or something like that you're doing with people at this time. Could even be like a foraging class or foraging group, where you go and you hunt mushrooms or something like that. Anything that's going to connect you with like a group of people where you have more interaction with people, where you're more social. I feel like that's going to be very positive. Okay, I'm going to switch decks and see if there's any other messages that want to come through. I'm trying to keep this reading is a little bit shorter than yesterday. Yesterday was very long. I do feel like love is kind of the battlefield. My guy just said that. It's funny. I have that. Who sings that song? There's an artist that sings that song. Love is a battlefield. What's that song? I don't know. Some of you may know what that song is. Or maybe that's not the words, but that's what's coming to me. So the clearing that you guys need, if your love life is kind of challenging at this time, I would say, is to work on letting go of a relationship that's no longer working or no longer healthy. That's what I want to say. There's a lot of positive energy that is kind of more feminine or receptive in nature. So it's like that. Shannon Yvette had this video that she talked about how it was her 3-day prophecy video, where in 3 days time your life was, she basically is like, your life is going to turn around, or something good's going to happen to you in 3 days time. And she tells everybody to set their clock for 3 days from the time that they're watching it. And every time I do that, so I would encourage everybody to set their clock on their cell phone, or set a reminder, write it in a calendar, that in 3 days time, things are going to change for the better. Something good's going to happen within 3 days. But the main thing that she said in that video is, sometimes, going back to what I said about this receptive energy, Sometimes all we really need to do is stand. And what she's saying when she talks about that is sometimes we've done everything that we can do. We've gone as far as we can go. We've applied to all the jobs. We've shown up to all the, things that, interviews. We've done, all of the tasks. Everything is done. Like we've done it all to either improve our life. Maybe we've made phone calls to our family members or written emails or tried to push really far to getting something that we want. Maybe it's paying a bill or worked really hard to pick up extra work. Or for some people, it's working 2 jobs, 3 jobs just to make it. So like what she's saying is that, and I'm going to say this for some of you, you don't need to do anything. At this time, you just need to stand. And by standing means, and my guides are confirming this, what that means is that you don't have to force or push anything to happen. It's just going to happen in its own time, and you're going to be blessed. And it's going to seem kind of unexpected. Then again, I'm psychic and I'm talking about things that are coming and things that you can think about during this time of transition. So we are in a time of transition. It is not spring yet. That spring, that powerful, beautiful energy of life and spring has not happened yet. Things are still sleeping. The cold is still there. It's just something that we're dealing with. So in some way, we cannot force the spring to happen sooner. We have to be able to kind of just sort of be in a place of like fortitude of just continuing to do what we're doing, continuing to get up every day, continuing to put your pants on one leg at a time, continuing to be proactive as best you can and try the best you can and do the best you can. And that's all that you can really do at this time. What she's saying is just stand. And I'm not saying, I don't like to put it out there that people need to wait. I'm not a big fan of waiting. I typically don't have a lot of patience for the universe because I feel like the universe really drags its feet. Okay. But for some of you that are watching, you've done all that you really can do as far as, maybe trying to achieve something that you want or get something or make things different or make things better. For some of you, you've done all that you can do within a relationship and it's time to leave. For some of you, and your relationship is not going to change. I'm just going to say that. For some of you, the transitional time, this time where it's not quite spring, is a time that might seem very frustrating because maybe all of your best efforts haven't come to fruition quite yet. Or it might seem like you're putting in a lot of work for very little. I saw somebody say something. Hang on. Pat Benatar. Okay, thank you. Pat Benatar. Yeah, that's it. That's the song. That's right there. You got it. Thank you. So yeah, I really, for those of you who want to see that Shannon Yvette video, I can put it in the comments once this video has posted and it's completed, if those of you who want to see it. But I want people to set their clock for 3 days. In 3 days time, things are going to change. And it's funny because I'm seeing 3 people are watching, 3 people have liked this video, and it's 39. I've been recording for 39 minutes. So 333 is a portal right now. We are in this 333 portal, and it's confirming that in 3 days time, something is going to change for you, for the positive. Now, for those of you who, and I'm just going to say this, are refusing to accept that you've done everything that you can do within a relationship, or refusing to accept that there is no changing a person in your life or changing a situation in your life and moving on from it, then nothing is going to change in 3 days. And I'm just going to say that straight up. Because you are refusing to accept what is very clearly in front of you. And this is something, you guys might be like me or in a similar situation where I live in a place that doesn't have a lot of opportunities. It never really did. It's kind of one of those places where you go and you stay when you're passing through to go to Seattle. It is incredibly beautiful, and the vibe is amazing, and I consider this my home. But the writing is on the wall as far as opportunities here. And I can't stay here forever because it's just not supported for me to stay here. So I have to accept it. I can't continue to fight it. So for some of you, there is something that you need to accept, and you cannot continue to fight it. And whatever it is that you're at a point with, it's sort of like when you go through a transition, you're not in one place or the other. You're in between. And in this beautiful in between, it's kind of like the pause, or it is kind of like a wait, or it's kind of like, having to swim from, I always say, this is my frog analogy, swim from one lily pad to another. The frog jumps off one lily pad into the pond and has to swim to get to the next lily pad. So for some of you, you're not yet at what comes next. You haven't reached that point of deciding what you're going to do next, or you're kind of just in between things where maybe you're in between jobs, or you're in between, moving from one place to the next, or you're just in between things in a space in your life where you're not maybe sure of what comes next. I got sidetracked. There was something else I was going to say about that. I was talking about the writing on the wall. I was talking about how coming to a place of acceptance. Oh, I was trying to say that we have to let go of the old in order to get the new. So in this time of transition, the message is for everybody to think about what it is that they need to let go of at this time in order to make space for something new in their life. And it's really annoying when psychics talk about making space for the new, because I think, like, at least for me, specifically, I get frustrated because I feel like I have made space. Like, there's nothing in my living room. There is space. I argue. It's sort of like I argue when somebody tells me, I should be grateful. Then I go, well, I am grateful, damn it. And I get defensive. So some of you might be like a little bit like, well, I've been in this relationship for 100 years. Why should it change now? Or like, I have cleaned out my closet. I have donated everything. Or like, you might be like, I have tried and nothing's working. Or like, I'm hearing these kind of arguments from people in my mind. So I'm not saying I'm any better than any of you, okay? But I am saying that some of these arguments are coming through, which are endearing, because I resonate with them. So some of you might feel like, yeah, like, you're in this time of transition, it's not quite spring and everything's kind of humdrum and blah, but, and you may have already done, like I said, you may have already done a lot of the work. Some of you may have cleared your space. You may have sprinkled salt across your entire floor. You may have really, really tried to manifest the things that you wanted, or you may have really, really tried to get someplace in life. And so, in 3 days' time, going back to that, I want to hear from everybody what happens in 3 days. Usually, if I set my alarm for 3 days, my alarm will go off, and it'll be kind of like a reminder that something good is going to happen. But also, usually, right at the time that it goes off, something good happens. And it could be small things, or like usually my mood is very positive right when that alarm goes off. So set your alarm for so like 3 days time would be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at whatever time it is now. I don't know what time it is where you live, but set it for whatever, for Wednesday, for whatever time it is right now where you live. And or if you live in, say, like Australia, then I think it would be Thursday. And see what happens, and let me know, and get back to me and let me know. I'm trying to think of anything else that I want to say here. I want to pull like maybe some final cards. It's very interesting. Some of you, I want to talk about manifesting. There's this Eastern Cottonwood tree card that's come up here. And I never noticed this before, but on this tree you can see there's like little like ribbons. And a long time ago, when I lived in Chicago, I did a wish project for my art class. And I was really inspired by the Japanese part of the School of the Art Institute, where they had this, it was like a wish tree. And I think in Japan, there's places, and I don't know where it is, I have to look it up, where you can wrap, like, you can write down what your wish is and tie it to a tree branch somewhere. And I've seen it. I don't know where it is in Japan, but it's like a traditional thing there. And my wish project, I wrote down what I wished for, and I tied it to this tree, and I took pictures of it for my photography class. And it was probably one of my favorite projects that I've ever done, because not only was I doing something that was kind of outside of the box that I had never done before, but 20 years later I looked back and realized that my wish had come true, that all of the things that I had wished for had happened. And it was a great kind of record of me doing that, and having that experience. But I also, so then this past summer, I made another wish. And I went and I tied my wish to like this, to this fence in, the area that I live, and I left it there, and I took pictures of it, and I read it out loud. And I actually am really happy that I did that, because it gave me this kind of refreshed perspective of what it is specifically that I want. Some of you need to, I don't know if it would be kind of do a ritual or write out what it is that you're wanting. Write out specifically what it is that would be like a miracle come true, or specifically it could be goals that you have, goals, dreams, wishes, anything that's on your mind, that's something that maybe is pressing, that you're needing, or pressing that you're wanting, or just make it kind of like a larger thing, say for the next 20 years, of what it is that you want to see in your own personal growth and development. Now, you can, if there's a tree in your backyard, I would encourage you to tie it to the tree and say it out loud, and maybe take a picture. Some of you don't have to go that far. You could just write out all, your goals, dreams, wishes, and make a wish for this time, or for the next 20 years. Whatever it is that you want to wish for, write it out, put a date on it, and come back to it later. I think it's going to be really cool to see how that plays out. There's something that's coming through about red meat specifically, and I don't know why. Some of you may live on a farm, or some of you may live in a place that's very rural, like where I live. And some of you, like your dream or your ideal is to live kind of on like a ranch or farm. Um, I'm seeing that. Some of you may be a little bit anemic, so you need to like up your iron intake. And some of you, like you're eating too much red meat. But to me, that's what's coming through. Or like you need to change your diet. Like if you have a meat heavy diet, like there's two people that I feel like I'm reading for. I feel like I'm reading for somebody who's anemic and kind of needs to increase the red meat intake or take a iron supplement. And then I'm reading for somebody else who maybe eats too much meat. Like every day, if they're having red meat or if they're having chicken or pork, they're eating meat like every day. It's too much meat. To reduce the amount of meat that they eat is important. I feel like the path or the way to get to your dream, let's say you have a dream about living on like a farm or a hobby farm or a ranch or something, is like that the Sound of Music. Okay, so in the Sound of Music, climb every mountain, search high and low. Like, don't give up on your dream. I guess what I'm trying to tell you is that, like, you're on the right path. Like, it's coming through very clearly. If you continue down your path, your wishes will come true. With the exception of the person that's in a deep denial, okay, that things aren't working and they need to change them. Like that. That is like super clear. But for pretty much everybody else that's watching, if you stay on track or stay on your path, you're going and you keep trying. Okay. And you keep trying to reach your dream, reach your goal, keep searching for the things that you're wanting. So let's just say, like for me personally, I've been looking online to see if there's any kind of houses to rent because I'm tired of this apartment and I want to rent something else. Even though I don't have a job right now, I'm still looking for that spot, that house. So some of you may be house hunting, or you may be looking for a property, or you might be trying to buy a farm, or you might be wanting to go and live in kind of a more rural place. My suggestion is keep looking. Keep looking. You're going to find it. Eventually, you will find it. Right now, it may seem like it's kind of in the distance, like you can't quite, it's not available to you yet, but I feel like eventually you will find it. Similar to what I said about wishes coming true and finding your dream, and maybe listen to The Sound of Music where she sings that song, Climb Every Mountain. So I think this is a great place to leave off. This is just before, my hour, recording for an hour. So I have been recording for a while. Thank you guys so much for being amazing fans and followers. Please donate, even if it's small. Thank you so much already for the people who have donated. But all donations are super appreciated this time. And any bookings for readings are also appreciated. So thank you guys so much. And definitely give me a thumbs up. Really helps. If you've watched all the way to this point, really helps my channel, really helps these videos get seen by more people. I'm still not able to monetize my videos. Taking my videos down and restarting actually helped the algorithm recognize my videos, so that's a plus. So I'm on the right track, but all thumbs up really helps. If you share this video, really helps. Booking readings really help. So yeah, thank you guys again, and I'll be back again for more, so stay tuned. I send everyone big hugs, big kisses, and I wish you guys the best. All right, take care. Bye.